name is Bill Paulsen. I am editor-in-chief of International Pharmaceutical Quality. We are here at the PDA-FDA Joint Regulatory Conference in DC to, get their industry perspective on some of the relevant hot topics.
Also, the latest political events has determined additional impacts on supply chains. So this means that the regulated companies are now required to accelerate a lot in their capacity of adaptation to the changes. And this is why also all the resulting processes, all the control measures the regulated company has in place shall adapt, let's say, at the same speed. Mm-hmm. So, and this is why a number of companies have initiated some innovation program within their own processes in order to implement more agile approaches and say less formal adherence to the written procedures like the traditional approach, as we have done within the traditional approach. So this means that in some cases, regulated companies need to again implement, revamp their processes in order to have a better understanding of the current picture, and to again change the picture very rapidly in order to follow the changes.
The work life has changed, or the way of operation has changed, internationally speaking. And then the next question kind of goes into the question of, well, how are you doing internal audits, right? Mm-hmm. From a QMS or quality management system, mm-hmm. how are you adhering, if you have, whether you're small or you're big, but certainly for companies that have multi-sites and people in different parts of the globe, how do you send a central quality team to go do an inspection in the middle of winter, let's say, when COVID is a little bit more on the uptick, right? And basically the question was, have you been doing audits as you normally have internally? And the answer was no. So what we're seeing is that maybe there's a cycle period, for example, in validation or data integrity space every 1 or 2 years. Now it's maybe 4 years, right? And so there's a gap. And then the last question was, how many people, and probably combined in the last 4 or 5 conferences that I've been at, hundreds and hundreds of people, the question was, how many people have had a regulatory inspection in the last, even just during COVID? And I can tell you probably, I could say not more than 10 people out of 5 conferences raised their hand, right? So the COVID-19 impact has been, how do I have business as normal? How do I have kind of remote processes of virtualization in internal audits, inspection, collaborating with teams?
Say, from a business perspective, you have new risks since, again, if you are leveraging a single supplier, you may have the so-called single point of failure within your supply chain. Okay, so you can easily detect which are those, the current processes you need to adapt, you need to evolve in order to mitigate the risk. So there are, increased risk due to the, modified impact of the supply chain. There are new risks due to technologies, new risks due to the fact that nowadays, most of the automated systems, whenever possible, are implemented through the software as a service approach, meaning that and all the regulated companies are not implementing their systems in their own IT infrastructure, but they are using the system completely, the software service completely delivered by the vendor, which means that the vendor will host the system and will also maintain the data on behalf of the regulated company. And therefore, you have additional risks in terms of integrity, but also in terms of confidentiality. You need to address. So this is one of the other, let's say, additional control measure you need to implement because you have additional risk to face.